Hi everybody, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Delightful Donna. Today we're making fudge two ways. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to show you guys a little trick to get your parchment into your loaf pan. I'm using disposable mini loaf pans just because this is the size that works best for me. And this recipe actually will fill the entire thing. So little tip. So first thing we have to do is we have to put a little bit of spray. And you just need just the smallest amount because we're going to line with wax paper, so we don't need a lot. This is just for the wax paper to be able to come out. And so it doesn't get stuck in the corners. Just like that. And then we're going to take our wax paper. This is parchment paper, not wax paper, sorry. And we're going to wet it. Shake off the excess water and then unwrap it. Probably not too pleasant on the camera, sorry. And then you're going to place it down inside. And the reason you do that is so that it places down inside and stays. If you try to put parchment or wax paper in there when it's dry, it's not going to stay like this. It's not going to form to the pan. So that's what we're looking for. All right. Okay, pans are prepared. We are ready. Scoop that just a little. Alrighty. Okay, set those aside and let's start with our ingredients. I'm going to need 4 tablespoons of butter. If you guys want the recipe, I'll put it down in the comments too. It's approximate. It doesn't have to be exact. And like that. And then we'll do the first one with the cream cheese frosting. Because remember, we're making this 2 different ways. So we're going to end up doing 2 different batches. My fingers have butter on them. All right. And we'll empty the entire contents of the frosting into, I should have said use a glass dish because we're using the microwave. Sorry about that. All right. Just scrape it all out. Okay. And then I'm going to use about 1.5 bags of chocolate chips per batch. And I'm using the Ghirardelli white chocolate. You can use any kind you want, really. If you wanted to make chocolate fudge, you could use chocolate chips instead, or butterscotch chips, peanut butter chips, whatever you want in place of the white chocolate. And then you wouldn't have to add any flavoring into it at the end. You would just add the chips and then the frosting or the sweetened condensed. All right, now we're going to put it in to the microwave. And we're going to do 30-second intervals. This is important, so please pay attention to this part because if you put it for longer than 30 seconds, your chocolate can start to scorch. This white chocolate is very delicate, and if it scorches, it's completely ruined. You have to throw it out. There's no salvaging it. So 30-second increments. All right. Just trying to scrape most of this off. All right, into the microwave. 30 seconds. All righty. First little increment of 30 seconds. You see it's starting to melt already? That's how fast this happens. And some microwaves, depending on the wattage of your microwave, it might take up to 3 minutes of these 30-second intervals. I think mine takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes, but we'll see here. Okay, little stir, back in, 30 seconds. Alrighty, let's stir again. Trying to break up my butter a little bit. My butter was cold, so taking a little bit longer to melt, but it's doing good. Okay, another 30 seconds. Alrighty. So now you can see we've been about 1.5 minutes at this point. And you see how it's getting really, really melty. It's almost there, but it's not 100% complete. I'm going to put it in again. I may not go the full 30 seconds. Probably check it after about 15. All right, let's pull it out again. I think this is going to be it. Yes. Okay. That looks good. Want it to be the consistency, I mean, I guess of soft frosting. I don't really know how else to describe it, but you see how it's pulling away from my spatula? That's what we want. All right, I'm back here. And now we're going to add our flavoring. For this one, I'm using maple. And I'm going to start with 2 teaspoons. I'm making a mess is what I'm doing. We're going to start with 2 and we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to tell you guys that don't make the mistake that I made, which was when I did my test run of this, I used imitation maple flavoring because that's what the store had. So I bought it. Not a good thing. Don't do that. Spend the extra money. It's not super expensive. You can find it on Amazon or any cake decorating store. And it's, you know, $10 or $12 for, this is, I think, I don't know, 4-ounce bottle or something. But the imitation, I don't know. I did like 4 teaspoons and it just didn't have the flavor that I was looking for. So the real deal is what you want. Okay. Okay, I tasted it off camera. It doesn't have the flavor I want, so I added 2 more teaspoons. So here we go. This is more similar to the color I want as well. And now comes the fun part. We're going to add our walnuts. And, you know, about a cup. I'm using big pieces, walnuts. These are walnut halves. But you could use chopped up pieces or any kind of nut you want, really. Pecans would be really good in this as well. We like walnuts. And we're just going to stir those in. Okay. Now we'll get our prepared pan. Making a mess. And we're just going to pour it into the pan. It's literally that simple, guys. And it's going to settle down in there really nicely. And just like that, you've made a batch of fudge. And in these disposable tins like this, these are great for gifts. You make these at the holiday season and give them to your neighbors for Christmas. So now we're going to put this in the refrigerator. We're going to let it set. It takes a good 2-3 hours to set up before you can remove it from the pan. And we'll clean up and we'll get started for the next flavor. All right, we have our prepared pan here, remember. Now we're going to kind of go back and do the same thing. We're going to do the butter. Put that in. And then this one, we're making a different way. This one, we're going to use sweetened condensed milk instead of the frosting. And this is just another way to do it. I love when things are versatile because sometimes you may not have an ingredient on hand. And it's nice to be able to switch it up and use what you have on hand so you don't have to run out to the store. For me, sometimes I want to, you know, last minute make this. My husband wants some, my kids, or, might want a quick gift for the neighbor. And if I have some things on hand, then I can just use those. Now, I didn't have milk chocolate chips on hand, so this is another improvisation, is you can use semi-sweet and white together, and that will give you milk chocolate. So we're going to go in with a whole bag of semi-sweet and half a bag of white, and then that's going to make milk chocolate when it's done. We're going to stir it up. And then same thing with this one. It goes in the microwave, 30-second intervals. Alrighty, and this one is done. Let's get this into the pan. All right, same thing. We're just going to pour it into the pan. Alrighty, and then this one, we didn't have to put flavoring in, remember, because we used chocolate chips. And then also this one is not going to have nuts. If you have somebody with a nut allergy, this is a great alternative. My son is allergic to nuts, and I don't like to, I'm going to take that little scoop of butter out of there. I don't want that inside. And my son is allergic to nuts, and so we have to do things without nuts for him sometimes, I guess. My daughter wouldn't agree, but alrighty, and we'll get this one into the fridge and get it chilled. All right. So they've been chilling in the refrigerator for a few hours. They're nice and firm. And now we're going to release them from this loaf pan. So what I'm going to do is just pull the sides a little bit here because it's, remember, there's no wax paper there or parchment paper there. And then we're going to pull a little bit on the sides where you can see if it's going to stick or not. You see how it's pulling off easy? And then we're just going to pull it out. Looks like that. And now, pull off this parchment. And that's your loaf. Next one, this is the chocolate one. Let's release that one now. You'll see we have a little excess butter in the corners. Nothing wrong with butter. Straight out, pull the sides, and flip it out. This one seems a little softer. Okay, there's one. And then we'll slice this one. They don't have to be perfect, but as good as you can get them. And this is what a slab will look like. All right, and now we'll slice into the maple, and you'll see how the nuts just get sliced when you slice into it. I'll just show this one. Here we go. You see how the nuts get nice and sliced up. It looks delicious. We're all working moms and don't have a lot of time, so this is something that you can put together very quickly. And like I said, give as gifts. It's inexpensive and it's fast. You can make a lot of it at one time, and so it's nice for gift giving for the holiday season. So let's taste it, see how we did. This is the chocolate. That is so good. It's rich and velvety. You won't believe how creamy this fudge is. Sometimes when you make fudge from scratch, if you don't get it to the right temperature, it can become a little bit grainy. This is not that. This is amazing. That is so good. All right, let's taste the maple. Also so good. Wow, that is really delicious. I hope you guys make these for your family and friends. And I just want to say a big thank you to all of our subscribers on YouTube. We surpassed 600 subscribers, and was a big goal for us this year. And we're on the road to 1,000. So share with your family and friends. Ask everybody to subscribe to our channel. I'd really appreciate it. Follow us on all of our social media. And thanks for watching. Bye.